بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. So this is the last session, inshallah. This is the last session that we have together. It is the last muhadara. It is the last lecture. And the Prophet ﷺ, he says that the end of an action is the best. And this is where you are judged. He says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. Actions, they are by their endings. Whenever you do anything, the last part of it is the most important. The Prophet ﷺ, he speaks about a man. This man, his whole life he did ibadah. His whole life he worshipped Allah. Salah, siyam, sadaqat, hajj, umrah, dhikr, da'wah, everything. And then what happened? حتى ليس بينه وبين الجنة إلا ذراع. Until between him and Jannah there was only a handspan. What did he do? He ruined his whole life at the end. So what are you judged for? Are you judged for 60 years of good or 1 hour of bad? Your aql says that 60 years is more. But the deen says no. The deen says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. 60 years you did good, 1 hour you messed up, the 1 hour was at the end, we are going to hold you accountable for the 1 hour. And the 1 hour is going to ruin everything that you did before. The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us of somebody else. This man, his whole life he did bad. Evil, haram. حتى ليس بينه وبين النار إلا ذراع. Until between him and Jahannam was just a handspan, ذراع. But then at the end of his life, he fixed his life. He made tawbah. He changed his life. Now the Sharia won't say, your whole life was bad. The good was a little bit. You didn't pray your whole life, you prayed at the end. So because you didn't pray your whole life, we are going to hold you to account. No. The Sharia said, you fixed it at the end. This is now going to wipe away everything else. Where do you go to? You go to Jannah. So actions are always by their endings. And we mentioned during the last 2-3 days many examples. The one that all of you have memorized now is the one of Umar, right? Umar radiallahu anhu. The last out of the Ashar al-Mubashirin to come into Islam, but he became the second best Muslim. وهكذا. This life that we are in, it's only 1 hour. What are you going to make of this 1 hour? Even if the beginning of the time, the middle of the time, until the end you waste it, the last part of the hour, you have to fix it. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, مَا الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إلا مثل ما يجعل أحدكم أصبعه أو إصبعه في اليم فلينظر بما يرجع. He said, this whole world, not your world, not my world, all of the whole world, the entire world together, comparing it to the akhirah, it is like somebody who went to the sea, the bahr. He put his finger in the water, he took it out, the whole world. What's left on your finger is the whole world. What's left in the ocean is the akhirah. So imagine if the person, he says, that little dot of water, this wallah is so important. Does he have any aql, that person? And that little part of the water is not just you, it's the whole world sharing it. The dot is the entire dunya. and you have only a part of it. So one dot is for the whole dunya, and then from that one dot you have a little bit for yourself. I don't think anybody who has aql or sense would prefer the dunya over the akhirah, personally speaking. I believe if a person does that, he doesn't have any aql. Or he has aql but he is jahil. But if you have aql and you do not have jahl and you do that, that's not the action of a person who is aqil. And that's not the action of a person who has ilm. And that's not the action of a person who loves Allah and loves the hereafter. It's not. The Prophet ﷺ, he also spoke about this dunya. And he said this dunya in its entirety, everything that's within it, in the sight of Allah, it's not even the wing of a mosquito. Mosquito is very small. The wing of a mosquito is even smaller. The dunya is even smaller than that. This Quran that we have, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you look at it, if you study it, the word dunya was mentioned 115 times. 115 in the Quran. It has come 115 times. And the word akhirah has come in the Quran 115 times as well. Yani dunya has come 115 times, akhirah has come 115 times. The dunya, it belongs to Allah, it doesn't belong to me or you. The one who the dunya belongs to, he tells us about its reality. And he says that this dunya, it is la'ibun, wa lahwun, wa zinatun, wa tafakhurun baynakum, wa takathurun fil amwali wal awlad. كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما. That is the dunya. And the one who seeks it, Allah says, وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. He never ever said anything about it. He said, من كان يريد العاجلة عجلنا له فيها ما نشاء لمن نريد ثم جعلنا له جهنم يصلاها مذموما مدحورا ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيها وهو مؤمن فأولئك كان سعيهم مشكورا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that this dunya, everything that's in it, he said it is something that is leaving. And he said the akhirah is khayrun wa abqa. Every time he speaks about dunya in the Quran, he speaks about aql. Surah Al-An'am, we read it yesterday. Allah said, Surah Al-An'am, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَعِبٌ وَلَهُ وَلَلدَّارُ الْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ يَتَّقُونَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Aql. Surah Al-A'raf, he said, وَلَلدَّارُ الْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ يَتَّقُونَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Surah to Yusuf, Allah said, وَلَدَارُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Surah Al-Qasas, وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَمَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَزِينَتُهَا وَمَا عِندَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. So what we're saying is true. I'm not making it up. You think it's from my pocket? هذا ليس من جيبي، هذا من كتاب الله، من القرآن الكريم، من رب العالمين. If you prefer the dunya over the akhirah, Allah is questioning you. Do you have aql? Can you check? Yani just double check if you have aql. It's something serious. It's something very serious. Al-Imam Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions a story. He says, two men, they were put in a suq, a market. One of them, he has aql, and the other one, he doesn't. They were told in this suq, there's everything that your heart wants. Everything that you desire, it's in the suq. But there are two types of desires. One is something which is temporary. It is going to leave you. It's not long lasting. It's in the suq. The other one is permanent. It's long lasting. It's something that will benefit you. It's up to you which one you want to take. Both of you go in the suq, you have 2 hours. If the time finishes, you both have to leave and you will not be given even 1 second longer. They both went in the suq. The first man, he walked inside and he saw some food and drink, and from the 2 hours, he spent 15 minutes eating and drinking. He only has 2 hours. 15 minutes is gone. How much time is left? From 2 hours. You guys don't know hisab? 2 hours minus 15 minutes. Yeah, it's easy. 1 hour 45 minutes. 1 hour 45 minutes. After he did the food and drink, he walked a little bit and he saw a bed. So he went on the bed and he slept for 45 minutes. How much is left? 1 hour. After that 1 hour, he felt hungry again. Then he ate and he slept. So he felt hungry again. So he went for some dessert and some tea and coffee. And that took 30 minutes. What's left? And the last 30 minutes, he spent talking to people. The 2 hours is finished. Itla'. Get out of the market. He said, no, I didn't do anything. I didn't benefit. I just slept. I just slept and ate. That's it. I ate, I slept, I ate, and I spoke. No, please, I can't leave. I need more time. He said, no, leave. He said, haven't you heard the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? استجيبوا لربكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا مرد له من الله. This is a story. But what is the ibrah? What is the lesson? You as well, you are in a big souq. This dunya is like a souq. So you sleep, you eat, you drink, you waste time. If your time finishes and Malakul Maut comes and you say, no, 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 same thing. No, 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 Allah, I waste my time. Say, no, you have to go, ya akhi. Your time is finished. You wasted your time. And you will not be given 1 second longer. What about the second man? The second man, when he walked in and he saw the food, the first man, he spent 15 minutes. He spent 5 minutes. He was hungry as well. He's a human being. So he ate, but he ate quickly. He ate, he drank, he kept moving. When he saw the bed, that the other one, 45 minutes, he went to sleep, he just went there and he took a little bit of time and he left, he moved on. What did he do? He saw gold, he saw dhahab, he saw la'ali, he saw diamond. He took all of this, he put it in his bag and he put it on his back. The 2 hours finished. He said, leave. He said, I'm ready to go, I'm happy. I have so much gold in my bag. This gold, my whole life, it will benefit me and my children and their children and their children and their children. I have gold and diamond. Are you sure you don't want extra time? He said, no, wallahi, I don't even need 1 more hour. That's the example of rajulun salih. Rajulun salih, a righteous man, he's desiring to meet Allah. So when the angel of death comes, he says, you were late, I was waiting for you a long time ago. Imagine if you are rajul salih and the angel of death comes, you say, I wish you came a long time ago. Why did you wait so long? When the angel of death, he takes the souls of the believers. Some are good souls, some are bad souls. The good soul, the angel of death will take the soul out and he will go up. Awalan, the angel of death comes down. When the angel of death comes down, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, a large number of other angels come down as well. Madd al-basar. A large amount. And then they come down with a big cloth that has perfume. Hanut min hanut al-jannah. So they come down and they put the soul in here, and all the angels, they take the soul back up to the sky. They go to all the skies. How many skies are there? 7 skies. They go to every sky. We have a righteous man, a slave of Allah. Can we come in? Yes. The second one? Yes. Third one? Yes. Until they take him all the way to the top. When they take him all the way to the top, this is a righteous man. He sees some of his family and friends and people he knew from the dunya who passed away before him. So they want to ask him questions. How's so-and-so? How's so-and-so? How is he? Did he get married? How is she? Did she get married? They're asking questions. So the angels will say, leave this person. He came from the ta'ab of the dunya, the grief of the dunya. Let him rest. So the angels take you away from that person and you go and you rest. But the evil soul, what happens? The angel of death comes. A large amount of angels come as well. And they come with a piece of fabric that is made out of fire to take his soul in it. They take his soul like that and they go up to the sky and they're asking for permission to go into all of the skies. They go to the first sky. Can we go inside? We have this slave with us. They say no. The second sky, no. The third one, no. None of them. What happens? The soul is thrown back down into the grave. This is the bad person. When he goes back into the grave, his grave, it becomes hufra min hufar nar. It becomes a pit from the pits of the hellfire. Some of the riwayat mention another angel will come into the grave. This angel has in his hand a sledgehammer. All he's doing is attacking this person in the grave. He will be asked the questions of the grave. Man rabbuk? وما دينك ومن هذا الرجل الذي بعث فيكم. Who is your Lord? What is your religion? And who is this man that was sent out to you? Yani, who is your prophet? He can't answer any of the questions. In his mind, he knows the answer is Allah, Muhammad, Islam. He knows in his mind. But because he didn't act by it, he can't say anything. And in some of the riwayat, it mentions that he says, ha la adri. Ha, yani I'm confused. Hayran. I don't know what to say. La adri, I don't know the answer. Just leave me alone, I'm scared. Please. And because he gets the questions wrong, he's going to be attacked even more. There is no rahmah in there. After all of that, a window is going to be opened up. They're going to say, whilst he's being punished, look outside that window. He looks outside that window. What does he see? He sees his place in the hellfire. They say, this is the beginning, that is the end. You're going to go there next. That is for who? Somebody who preferred the dunya over the akhirah. ولذلك the Prophet ﷺ, when he would be speaking to the Sahaba, he would remind them of Jannah and he would remind them of Jahannam. It is wrong for the people to be reminded of just Jahannam. So the believers, they become scared. That Jahannam, this is not right. But it's not right as well for the believers to just be told about Jannah. لأن our religion, you worship Allah based on hope and fear together. If you have only hope, yes, I'm going to Jannah, I'm going to Jannah. This is not even considered, this markaz is called Markaz Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah, right? That's not even Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah's position. Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah, they don't believe that you worship Allah only on hope. Nor do they believe that you worship Allah Jalla wa Ala only on fear. They believe that you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on hope and in fear. ولذلك الحسن البصري رحمه الله, from the Tabi'een, they said about him, when you would look at Al-Hasan al-Basri's face and you would say to him, Jahannam, the way his face would change, فَكَأَنَّهَا لَمْ تُخْلَقْ إِلَّا لَهُ. It's as if Jahannam was made only for him. How his face would change. This is khawf min Allah Azza wa Jal. The ulama, they speak about khawf and they speak about khashya. Khawf, it means fear. Khashya, it means fear with knowledge. ولذلك Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. He didn't say إِنَّمَا يَخَافُونَ اللَّهَ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. He said إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهِ. The ulama, he used the word khashya, not khawf. لأن the ulama, their fear of Allah is with knowledge. They know who Allah is. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the last ayah of Surah Al-Bayyinah, جَزَاؤُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ جَنَّاتُ عَدْلٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ خَشِيَ رَبَّهُ. If a person had this khashya, any time they're tested with a sin, they won't do it. That's why khashya is important. That's why fear is important. That's why your qalb to remember Jahannam is important. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, اتقوا النار, fear the fire, وَلَوْ بِشِقِّ تَمْرَةٍ. Even if it is giving a little bit of a date seed, half a date, in charity, he said, fear the fire. Do something. This will make the believer always conscious of the hereafter. Surah Al-Fatiha. You begin the salah, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. These three ayat, let's look at it. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, you are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we spoke about that yesterday, the 5 surahs that begin with Alhamdu. What does this mean? Someone tell me. You praising Allah, what does that show from you? What action of the heart? Love. That you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you praise and you glorify and you remember somebody or something that you love. Not somebody that you hate. somebody that you love, somebody that you respect, somebody that you care about. ولذلك, when you are addressing your parents, you are addressing people of knowledge, you are addressing people that you respect, you do it with love. احترام. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, this ayah, it shows love. The Muslim has love for Allah. Then Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Allah Jalla wa Ala, He is the one who has so much mercy. Some of the Mufassirin, they say, Ar-Rahman, it means Dhu Rahmatin Wasi'ah. He has a lot of mercy. That tafsir, if you take it, it means then Ar-Rahim, from Him being Dhu Rahmatin Wasi'ah, He let this mercy come down to the earth. Some of the scholars, they say, no. Ar-Rahman, it means the entirely merciful. And if you look at the translations in English, that's what they normally say. Entirely merciful, He's merciful to everybody. He's merciful to all of His creation. And if you take that tafsir, then Ar-Rahim would mean He is especially merciful to the Muslims. قال الله تعالى وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا. Not وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحْمَانًا. So Rahim is for the Muslimin. Rahman, it is Am. This ayah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, what does that show you now? If Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, it shows love, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, what does that show? Hope. Then comes Maliki Yawmiddin. وفي قراءة Maliki Yawmiddin, the owner of the day of judgment. In the other qira'ah, the king of the day of judgment. What does it show? Fear. There's no other king on that day. أين المتكبرون أين الجبارون لمن الملك اليوم. Who is the day for? Where is everybody? Where is the people who had kibr? Where are you now? Nobody can say anything. So Allah speaks for Himself. لله الواحد القهار. This is my day. This day is for me. Nobody can speak. Nobody can talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a day that Allah said it is Maliki Yawmiddin. So this day when you are in the salah, we spoke about khawf and khashya and the difference between them. Khashya, now I give you an example. Khashya is fear with knowledge. That means now I know what Maliki Yawmiddin means. When I'm in the salah and I'm reading Maliki Yawmiddin, I should be thinking about the hereafter. I should be going to the hereafter. That's how much tadabbur I should have. That is khashiyah. That this day now I have fast forwarded, I have moved already to Yawm al-Qiyamah. That's what khashiyah means. He is the one that is the king on that day. And the day of ad-deen. Ad-deen ayil jaza. If you do good, you'll be given good. If you do bad, you'll be given bad. Yes. So this ayah now, it gives you fear. This is where the ulama, they bring the evidence from the Quran and they say you worship Allah based on love, mahabba, hope, which is al-raja, and fear, which is al-khawf. Al-Allama Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, he says, these three, it is like the bird. The beak, the face, the front, it is mahabba. This is the most important one. And the two wings of the bird, it is al-raja wal-khawf. It is hope and fear. This is how you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's make it more clearer. When you do a good action, do you have hope or fear? You can have both, but you have hope that Allah will accept it, inshaAllah ta'ala. Why did I say you can have both? Because you may also have fear that you did it wrong. Allah didn't accept it. You didn't have ikhlas, وهكذا. But the asl is, you have hope after you do good. And the asl is, you have fear after you do evil. And that's why the scholars, they say, if you see somebody who's falling into sin, he's engaging in sin all of the time, are you encouraged to give him hope? هذا سؤال طيب جدا. Somebody, he's doing sin, ma'asi. Are you allowed to go to him and say, Allah, you're a good person? Are you allowed to do that? If you think yes, say yes. If you think no, say no. Like I said yesterday, I'm not a sheikh or an imam, it's a niqash. It's the same, we're all the same. If you think, I think, if a person is doing evil and he's smoking and he's drinking khamar, I say, yeah, mashallah, tell me. Maybe someone here thinks that. You can't, right? Wal-aks. Someone who's praying salah, good Muslim, reading Quran, will make him scared. Ya akhi, Jahannam, Jahannam. Is that right? That's not aql aslan. Right? It's not aql. The scholars, they say, okay, the one who's making sin, There is a time where we can give him hope. Who can tell me when that is? Huh? After he made tawbah. So someone did a lot of sin, even if he did kaba'ir al-dhunub, but he made tawbah nasuhan, tawbah which is sincere. Here he's still scared. Here we can give him hope. He said, no. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgives all sins. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. That's what we say. أدركتم الفرق? Someone who's doing sin but didn't make tawbah, you can't tell him Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. What do you tell him? You tell him Inna Allah shadidul iqab, sari'ul hisab, أن القوة لله جميعا وأن الله شديد العذاب. That's what you tell him. لأن these are the ayat that he needs. Someone who made the tawbah, and this is how beautiful Islam is. Islam is fair. Someone who made the tawbah and they still feel bad, you say, Allah forgives everything. Allah has forgiven you. Did you do tawbah? Did you do it correctly? Khalas, inshallah, don't worry. Move on, inshallah ta'ala. The person who did good, when does Raja come? Raja comes for the one who does good. Raja is not allowed for somebody who doesn't do good. Someone la yusalli aslan. You give him Raja and you say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgives everybody. Insha'Allah ta'ala, Allah will, you don't tell him that. You say, Akhi, Salah, it is imaduddin. Salah is the most important action of Islam. If you don't get your Salah right, nothing will be right for you. It's the first question you'll be asked Yawm al-Qiyamah. Salah is the only thing that if you get right, insha'Allah ta'ala, your entire hisab, the Prophet ﷺ said, will be okay. Your other sa'iru amali, it will be good, he said, alayhi salatu wasalam. This is how we deal with the people. There's one more exception. They said, when somebody is passing away, and they are in halatu sakratil maut, this person, you give them what? Raja or khawf? The person who's passing away, they're about to meet Allah and die. Do you give them raja or khawf? You give them raja. What if they didn't do any good actions? You still give them raja. لأن before they meet Allah, they need to have a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, أنا عند ظن عبدي بي فليظن عبدي ما شاء. I am like what you think of me. You think what you like. If you think bad, that will be the case. If you think good, that will be the case. So this is the whole understanding of this dunya. This entire dunya, Allah only brought you here for you to worship Him. And for you to have this one opportunity that doesn't come again. Wallahi, nobody will be given a second opportunity. One chance and that is it. So for everybody to think from amongst us now, if I were to die today, this is how you think. This is khashiyah, this is khawf, this is muhasabah. If I were to die today, tonight I die, the way I lived my life, am I going to Jannah? If I were to die tonight, the way I lived my life, am I going to Jahannam? That's khawf, that's khashiyah. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, he narrates the hadith of the Sirat, the bridge above Jahannam. The bridge above Jahannam, the Prophet ﷺ, he said that this bridge, it is thinner than hair. It's thinner than that. And it is sharper than a sword. This bridge, it has on it hooks. Some people will cross, this bridge is above Jahannam. Some people will cross kalbarq, like lightning, very fast. Some people like fast horses. Some people like camels. Some people they will walk. Some people they will crawl. Some people they will fall inside. Abu Sa'id, when he mentioned this hadith, a lot of the ulama, they explained it. From them Al-Allama, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, he said that we all know, based on how we are living our life, how we're going to cross that bridge. You can't say that you are going to cross Kalbarq when you know you don't do any good things. You're going to cross that like lightning, but you don't do anything good. How are you going to cross that lightning? You know that if you're going to cross like a camel, so not too fast, not too slow, you're a moderate Muslim. You know your hal. And Allah Jalla wa Ala, He divided all of the Muslims like that. He said, فَمِنْهُمْ ظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ ومنهم مقتصد ومنهم سابق بالخيرات بإذن الله ذلك هو الفضل الكبير. Some of the Muslims, they wrong themselves. Some of the Muslims, they're in the middle. Some of the Muslims, mashallah, tabarakallah. Noor. You see Noor, you hear Noor, everything about this person is Islam. So now you ask yourself a question. This person who's worshipping Allah like that, and me who's worshipping Allah like this, is it fair, is it practical for me to hope that me and him are going to be in the same place in Jannah? It's not fair. You didn't do the same work. Remember what I said before. If Allah wants, He can take you same place. If Allah wants. But can you expect that? No, you can't expect that. وَلَيْسَ لَكَ حَقٍّ. And you don't have a right, aslan. You have a right to just hope, inshallah, Allah doesn't forgive me. That's the minimum. I hope Allah doesn't forgive me. Anything more than that is just extra. Sometimes a person is so far away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It takes one tawbah, one time to speak to Allah, dua, munajah, to have a conversation with Allah and change your whole life around. Your whole life. For a person to sit down, to make wudu, to face the qibla by himself with nobody around, put his hands up and to beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant him a pure, righteous heart that connects with Him. And Allah will give it to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, "Ud'uni astajib lakum." Ask me, I will give it to you. Allah said, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. If my slaves asks you, O Muhammad, about me, I am close to them. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِي إِذَا دَعَانِ. I answer all of their close. Allah said, لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم قاموا على صعيد واحد. If all of you, the first of you, the last of you, the jinn, the ins, all of you were to stand on one place together, all of Allah's creation, and everybody were not to ask one dua, two du'as, 100 du'as, 1,000 du'as. No, you ask for everything, all of the creation, al-khalqu ajma'een. Allah said, I will give everybody what they want, and that will not be difficult for me. Allah wants to hear your voice in the skies. Allah wants to hear you return back to Him. Thabit al-Bunani, from the Tabi'een, he's from the companions of Ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Abdullah ibn Umar. Thabit al-Bunani, he says, if Allah loves a servant, when he makes dua, Allah doesn't give him what he wants. And then he says, if Allah doesn't like a servant, when he makes dua, Allah gives him what he wants. Can somebody explain this to us? I say it again. He's saying, if Allah loves somebody and he makes dua, Allah doesn't give him what he wants straight away. He does later, but not straight away. And if Allah doesn't like somebody, Allah gives him what he wants straight away. Who knows what that means? Aywa, هذا هو. The one that Allah loves, Allah answers him, yes. Allah delays it though, the ijabah. لأن هذا محبوب عند الله. Allah loves him, so Allah wants his voice to be heard in the sky for longer. And the other one, he doesn't have a high rank with Allah. Allah doesn't love him. So when he makes dua, Allah just give him what he wants. That's khalas. It's normal, we do this as well. When you like somebody, you can speak to them again and again and again. You can hear their voice. Yani the ibara here, the example is hearing their voice. When you don't like somebody, maybe even the phone will ring, astaghfirullah. Some of us, we do it, we say, I don't want this one, I don't want to talk to him. We don't want to talk to him. It's your choice, right? That's hukum shar'i, but you don't need to. But the other person, you could talk to him for a long time. If he calls you after, again you could talk to him. لأنك تحبه ويحبك. You love him and he loves you. That's what the scholars, they say, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, the beak of the bird, it is mahabba. وهذا أعظم شيء. وهذا الحمد لله رب العالمين. It means that's mahabba for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in the Quran, this is the final part. يا أيها الذين آمنوا من يرتد منكم عن دينه فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه. The people who leave the religion, either they leave their religion في الحقيقة, or they leave their religion معنويا. Some people, they leave, they do ridda, they leave the religion completely. Other people, they're in Islam, but the only thing they have Islam is a Muslim name. They don't do any Islam. Whatever the case, Allah said He will bring other people. These people love Allah, and Allah loves them. They love Allah, and Allah loves them. Teaching you that the most important thing, O Muslim, in this world for you, in your ibadah, is for you to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you love Allah? You love Allah by pondering and remembering and reflecting over how much Allah has given you, how kind Allah has been to you, how much mercy Allah has shown you, how much Allah has done for you in your life. All of these things, they will give life to your heart. And they will make this heart connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so much so that Allahu Akbar wa ma dunahu asghar. Allah is the greatest, Allah is the highest, and everybody else and everything else is not important. Your heart is just for Allah. Some of the scholars, they say, Allah said in the Quran, وَمِن كُلِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقَنَا زَوْجَيْنِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Everything that Allah created, He made zawjah, a pair. The parent, the children. The husband, the wife. The day, the night. The sky, the earth. Everything has a zawjah. Even you have two eyes, you have two hands, you have two ears. Everything's like that. They say from the things that Allah created, just one, not two, it is the heart. It is the heart. لماذا? The heart is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything in the dunya, it shouldn't take up 100% of your heart. Maybe it could take up a lot, but not 100%. 100% is only for Allah. The heart is only for Allah. 100% is for Allah. If you give 100% to Allah and 100% to anybody else from the makhluqeen, then you have divided your heart between Allah Ar-Rabbul Azim and the makhluqeen. And that's not what Allah Jalla wa Ala gave you a heart for. So we said, Al-Azamah, Al-Mahabba, turning back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and realizing that our wazifa, our work in this world, our duty in this world is only this one thing. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us and to grant you understanding and to protect us and to preserve you and to honor you and your families and the people of this masjid and this community and this city and this country from all forms of harm and evil. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you all an example for the Muslims and the non-Muslims in this country. Because remember, you are all Muslims. The ulama, they say, a Muslim living in a non-Muslim land, he is not a Muslim, he is Islam. A Muslim living in a Muslim land, living in Saudi Arabia, living in Somalia, living in Pakistan, living in Iraq, living in Yemen, these are Muslim countries. A Muslim living in a Muslim country is a Muslim. And the scholars, they say, a Muslim living in a non-Muslim country like here is not a Muslim. What is he? Islam. Because people are watching you and they say, what you do, this is Islam. Sometimes as Muslims, we have to understand, we blame a lot of the kuffar. We blame them. They're doing this, they hate us, they do. And it's true. There's some truth to that. But we don't take responsibility, some of us. Maybe they saw some of our folks, some of our family, some of our friends, some of the Muslims doing bad things. So because they saw that, now they have a bad understanding of Islam. Isn't that not possible? It's possible. But if every Muslim were to take responsibility, then remember, the 5 pillars of Islam, what shows more than that, it is al-akhlaq al-karima. Akhlaq al-karima. If they see from you, you have good adab, good akhlaq, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you, even if you give them da'wah later to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's more likely they will listen to you and accept it. But when they see a Muslim himself, he shouts, he screams. He doesn't have good adab on the road, on the bus, on the train. Later you say Islam is truth. I don't believe you though. Can you blame them? You can't blame them really. وَلِذَلِكَ everybody has to remember that you now, you are an example for all the Muslims in this country. And you are the example of all the Muslims in the whole world. If I have children, you have children, what is the community's rights over us, you know? This is important. You have children, you have little brothers, you have little sisters, you have nephews, nieces, your own children, grandchildren. The community, they have a haqq over you. What is the haqq over you? That you raise your children correctly. Because if you don't, they are your children and they are causing fasad on the earth of Allah. It's your fault. Who are we going to blame? We're not going to blame the imam of the masjid, we're going to blame the family. So that's one child. Imagine if there are hundreds of children like that. And then imagine if these akhlaqiyat are not changed whilst they're young, they're only going to grow up. Then we're going to have children and adults that are like that. And later we're not going to be able to bring them back to the religion. So akhlaq is something very important. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this. And forgive us for our sins. And allow us to draw nearer to Him. And allow us to be better than how we were before. And allow us to have a lot of khair in our lives. And barakah, and rahmah, and sa'adah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this jam'a and everybody who's here today to reunite in Jannah with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the dunya not akbara hammina. اللهم لا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا ولا إلى النار مصيرنا واجعل الجنة دارنا وقرارنا اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا وأصلحنا وأصلح بنا ووفقنا ووفق بنا واغفر ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا واشرح صدورنا ونور قلوبنا واختم بالصالحات أعمالنا اللهم احفظنا من بين أيدينا وعن أيماننا وعن شمائلنا ونعوذ بك من أن نغتال من تحتنا اللهم إنا نسألك يا الله يا كريم أن ترزق كل واحد منا سؤله ومراده فيما يرضيك عنه يا رب العالمين رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين وصلى الله على النبي سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين وجزاكم الله خيرا. I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask for everybody's forgiveness if I said anything that was wrong, that was rude, that was offensive. Over the last 3 days I was your guest, I was your dayf here. So if anything came from me, I'm just a human being. I'm makhlooq, I didn't intend to do anything bad. But it's your right upon me for me to apologize. So I wanted to apologize inshaAllah ta'ala if I did anything towards any of you or said anything that you took the wrong way. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me for that. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.